Welcome everybody to another episode of another edition of our college football Revamped Dynasty with Iowa State. Currently sitting at 6-0, number 3 in the country, getting ready to take on Oklahoma State, and then next week is Kansas State. Before we take on Oklahoma State, though, I know we've been kind of weeding out our targets a little bit as we've kind of fallen out of different races, but we've got a bunch of people getting ready to visit and things like that. And I've got a bunch of points left over. So I want to see if there's any of these people worth diving into a little bit. We'll put a few in here just to... We don't really want a 2-star linebacker, but we'll take him if we need to. We're winning that one no matter what. 4-star receiver. I'll put something in there just to see what happens. Put some in there. Put some in these. Did we already land a kicker? We didn't. Kind of need a kicker. What's our scouting look like? 63 and 62. Yikes. Not that much different. We've got a lot better shot at this one than this one. Yeah, we're not going to get him. We'll just go off from a scholarship. Whatever. 4-star pocket passer. Did we already... might as well. Actually, we'll just offer him a scholarship, and then when we get our points next week, we'll actually put points on him. But otherwise, I think we are pretty much ready to go. Should definitely raid David if he's still on when you guys are done. That would be wild. Yeah. Let's see here. We can play our game now, and we're at home. Let's wear... We're going to wear white, cardinal. Oh, those are the white. Oh, they have the white and black pants on here. Oh. Well. But they don't have the white alternate helmet. Black, white. Or actually, no, let's go. I want to go with my original idea. I want to go white, cardinal, white. I've always been a big fan of this look. I think we'll stick with this. I think the score of the Iowa game this year will be. Good question. I'm thinking it'll be score of the Iowa game this year. I'm thinking it'll be a little bit higher scoring than maybe we're used to at the Iowa game, because I think Iowa's got a lot to replace on defense, and I think they're going to be at least slightly more competent on offense than they typically are. Look at those defensive ratings, and we're doing pretty well on our rushing or in our passing offense too. Just right now, without knowing anything else going into that game, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of like a 31-21, something like that.
Presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Settled out in the heart of Iowa, in the Plains, is Ames, Iowa, and Jack Trice Stadium.
30-17, I like that. It's a good prediction.
We're ready to get this one underway as the teams are lined up for the opening kick. He just drills this one. He's to the 10. He's to the 20.
Oh, Kane. Oh.
Iowa State's coaching staff, the fans, I think everybody's been waiting to see this kid play, and here he is.
Well, he's a star quarterback. He seems to bring everything to the table. The crowd, I think, senses he's ready to have a big day. And when your star quarterback feels good at playing at home and he gets off to a good start, some big...
I'm going to read option start just to see what Oklahoma State's doing here.
Leads the team out on the field for the first drive.
I didn't realize we were using all the colored jerseys. Yeah, we'll pull the guard. Bring him around. Let Brees do his thing.
And he's tackled after positive yardage. Hall picks up 5 with the carry.
That brings up 2nd and 5.
Couple tight ends working here.
2nd down and 5. Ball on the 30.
We'll see what Charlie Kohler does here. He might be open. Or Brees.
Catches it, and he's looking for more. Tackle at the 36-yard
Nope.
line. So they get it out there for about 6 yards, and that's a first down.
Short throws like this are very effective because they tend to wear down the defense over the course of a game, especially when they get you a first down and keep the offense on the field.
Called the draw. It's favorable. We'll see what happens here. Oh, nobody blocked.
And he's taken down at the 34-yard line. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback.
Okay.
That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Let's try the screen.
From their own 34-yard line. 2nd down.
Yeah. This should work out okay.
Fires complete over the middle. Tackled around the 42-yard
Favorite Ames restaurant. Okay, so this is a tough one because when I went to school there, the restaurants that are there now are a lot different than the ones that when I went there. But I will say that I'm a big fan of the cafe, and I'm a big fan of Wallabies, especially. The cafe and Wallabies are probably my 2 favorite. But if there's a new one that's there that I'm not aware of, it's certainly possible that there is a new one there that I'm not aware of. That's also very good. Let's see here. Do you think Iowa State basketball will be the first team to not win a regular season game but the tournament? Yeah. I mean, they got blasted tonight. I mean, I guess they could win at Kansas State on Saturday. I don't see it, but I suppose they could. But I'm not. I'm guessing they won't win that, and they won't win that first tournament game against Texas Tech. So I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that Iowa State is not going to win a regular season game, or not going to win a single game outside of those first 2. I think they will go winless in conference play.
You have to be prepared for that. In that play, they made them pay for blitzing.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 37.
I'm going to run a play action here. And I'm going to send Sean Shaw deep. They don't have a lot of protection over the top for him. He's kind of open, but got nothing.
Defense got some pressure and forced a bad pass.
I think they've been a little bit more aggressive here with their pass rush, and that time it paid off with an incompletion.
It's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 37-yard line.
Here we go. No, sit down. Oh, come on, really? Okay. Real Brees Hall would have stiff-armed him. Let's get this. Oh, yeah, there's that toss. I forgot about that toss. I'm going to run this read option.
The 9th play of the current drive.
No, we're going to play action. And we're going to try to see if we can hit Tariq Milton here. Which we can. Tariq, turn the corner, get in there. Touchdown, let's go. All right, turn the corner. Love it. Let's see, another question. Do you think anyone will have a breakout year for the Clones football team next year? A couple guys I think could have really nice years. With being the actual backup running back this time, I think there's a good chance that we see more out of Jarrell Brock at the running back spot. I think Yasheem Young is a guy that we can see really vault himself into the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. Let's see, yeah. So Jarrell Brock, Yasheem Young, one of the young safeties, Craig McDonald, or I think Craig McDonald played. blanking on the other safeties right now. But either any of those, whoever ends up being kind of the primary starter there, could definitely be in that range. Could certainly be effective playmakers. We'll sub him in. Apparently he got injured on that touchdown catch. As far as any other breakout players, I'm trying to think. There's a couple other. I mean, like, depending on. I mean, part of it kind of depends on who kind of shows up throughout camp and through the spring practice. But if he's there, I really like. I'm a big fan of Tristan Michaud, the freshman receiver. He's like 6'6". Big fan. I really like his tape. I think that's a guy that could help Iowa State out quite a lot. Whoever steps up to be that third tight end could also be big.
Their own 46-yard line.
As far as replacing Dylan Sainer and being that F-back, could be really, really important. So those are kind of the main guys. I mean, the thing with having so many people back, I mean, Iowa State's going to have a ton of people back on both sides of the ball. When you have that, there's not going to be a lot of new starters. So the breakout guys that we're going to see, whatever a breakout means, is going to be more just they've got more playing time, so we get a little bit more. But nobody's going to like bust through as like I don't see anybody busting through as a new starter or something like that. I mean, it's certainly possible, but I don't see anybody breaking through as like this guy could come out of nowhere, end up starting a bunch of games, and come out of nowhere to be one of the better players on the team. I don't think there's a guy like that. Not this year, just because there are so many returning players. But it's tough to say. Lots of different options. You could see Anthony Johnson jump up to be respected as one of the better corners in the country. You could see him make that jump. So there's a lot of different candidates for that. Question from Isaac: how high do you think we'll get in the rankings this year? That's a tricky one. I mean, I'm thinking preseason will probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8. So you start at 7 or 8. I would say is a really, really good shot to get to 5-0 at least. I mean, really, if you beat Iowa, you're just about guaranteed to get 5-0. And at 5-0, starting at number 7, one of those teams is probably going to lose in there. So you could be flirting with the top 5 at that point. And if they continue to win games and you get to and if they win all the games they're favored in, which should be pretty much all of them except Oklahoma, if they're 10-0 going into Oklahoma, there's a very real shot that Iowa State and Oklahoma are 4-5 or something along those lines going into that. So 3-4, 4-5, something along those lines going into that game. There's a very realistic possibility that could happen. And then from there, if you lose to Oklahoma, then you're probably topping out at 3 or 4. But I mean, if you beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma when they're number 3, I mean, I don't think you'll ever end up at 1, but I mean, 2 or 3. I mean, you could be up there if you're undefeated going into the Big 12 title game, you're probably number 2. I mean, and I know it sounds crazy to even like talk about that. I mean, there's only one game this year that Iowa State won't be favored in, and that'll be the Oklahoma game. And as far as I'm concerned, if they win all their games that they're supposed to be favored in, there's no reason they won't be near the top 5 most of the season. Then we'll just see kind of how they go. So, I mean, they could easily get into 3 or 4 territory, just depending on who they beat and win and who loses.
You can tell he's got a lot of faith in his wide receivers. Even when he's a little bit off target, they can pull it in and make something happen.
Sky's the limit. The limit for how high they want to go is basically if they take care of business early in the season and if they can pick off Oklahoma, and that will determine their ceiling, basically. There's no reason that Iowa State couldn't end up in the top 5 if they take care of business and beat who they should beat.
Here's a quick throw.
Anthony Johnson. Oh!
When you can get in the way of a pass on 3rd down because
question from Twitch, BassettHound92, is it too soon to be this hyped for the 2021 season? Absolutely not. Especially with as bad as the basketball team is, perfect time to get hyped. Because I mean, we're already hyped. We're getting ready. We're planning lots of off-season content. as far as podcasts and different things like that. I can't reveal to you. I know last time in the last stream we talked about kind of a new big project we've got coming up in the off season, and I think we're planning on revealing that kind of towards the end of March, and then kind of really do it starting in April. We're really excited for it. I can't tell you about it just yet, but really excited for that. We'll have a good podcast. We'll have lots of good articles and rankings and things like that. We'll try to do as best we can covering spring practice and things like that. Now, we don't obviously have access to the practice itself, so we can't give you like insider info on who's playing well and all that. But you know, we can kind of do it. We try to do the best we can in covering it, and we'll be talking about it quite a bit this year, because this is easily the most anticipated Iowa State football season ever. I mean, it's nothing even approaches it. Not even last season. Last season was never this hyped. Where Iowa State's got a very real shot that if they play well and do what they should do. Oh, Breece Hall. That if Iowa State does what they can, they're a legitimate, like, fringe playoff contender. I mean, they're not. Iowa State is good enough and has a chance to be good enough that calling them a dark horse playoff contender is maybe not actually the right term, because them making the playoffs and like taking care of business and making the playoffs wouldn't be a tremendous shock. I mean, it would be a big deal because they're doing it without all the big recruits and all that. So it would be a big deal from that perspective, but from a just like based on expectations type of deal, it wouldn't shock a lot of people. So maybe it's, I don't even know if dark horse is the right term for how we categorize Iowa State as a playoff contender in 2021, just because they've got a chance to be that good, and people know that they can be that good. Right there. We're gonna do that again and see if we can split that safety up. I know I'm not really commentating the game very well, but I'm enjoying answering everybody's questions. So that high safety, if he fades to the middle in the cover three, we're gonna hit Xavier over the top, which he did not. So we're gonna hit him right in the middle of the field. We're gonna call it again, just because they keep liking to. Apparently, they just really like playing cover two. And if they're going to keep playing cover two, I'm going to keep throwing in the middle of that zone. They went to a cover three that time. I shouldn't have thrown that. I should have thrown it away. Luckily, he wasn't paying attention.
A lot of times you start to maybe think about blitzing linebackers. This time, he keeps the linebackers back in position to be able to knock.
Run a read option.
And not give this offense a chance to pick up a first down.
Iowa State holds a 4-point lead.
No, damn it.
Look to me like
Is there any other incoming freshmen you're excited for? As far as the incoming freshmen go, that's a tough one. I mean, a guy that, like in the offseason we saw Johnny Lang transfer. A guy that could come in and theoretically kind of replace him and take his spot. Now, obviously Johnny Lang didn't get a lot of carries last year, so how much of a role you're replacing is maybe up for question. I should have bounced that inside. Damn it. But a guy like Deion Silas is running back out of Steinbrenner High School, same high school as still true freshman receiver Aiden Bitter. Certainly could be a guy that maybe steps in as a punt returner or a kick returner, or just a situational guy. He's an interesting one. The thing about this class, about the 2021 class for Iowa State, is that there was a lot of guys. It's actually supposed to go at the back of the end zone. Is that there's a lot of guys in there that they're not going to start right away, but there's a lot of really, really nice developmental pieces in there that, because they don't need to play this year. They don't need to play right away. They can kind of do whatever for now, and they'll have time to develop. So there's no reason to rush it. See, I don't know if you'll see a lot of them play like early, much more than their redshirt games this year, really. That's not a bad thing, though. That's not a bad thing at all. You don't need them to be starters right away. Iowa State's in a position they don't need true freshmen to be impact players, and that's good. That's an objectively good thing. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of guys that I'm excited to see. Tristan Michaud, like I mentioned, is one that could be interesting. But you know, as far as this season goes, there's not a lot of them that you actually really need to play. You don't really need to do too much with them, and that's a very good thing.
Call it a gain of 4 yards. That makes it 2nd and 6.
It's complete. That's a great tackle.
I tried to get back to cover that slant, and I missed it.
A gain of 11 yards. That makes it 1st and 10.
All right.
From the 46-yard line. 1st down. Gets it to his wide receiver, and he's got another one.
Rose makes the tackle at the 41-yard line. That brings up 2nd and
Two quick bets. What's up, bro? Not much, man. Just playing Revamp. Good time. Hope you're doing good. We're going to do one of these. We're going to guess pass. Get out of bounds.
The
Yep.
39-yard line.
All right. There, we're gonna bring a little heat.
3rd down.
You think Easton Dean is the favorite to replace Saint? I think right now Easton Dean is in line to get. I don't know if he'll replace Sainer directly because I think Easton Dean's going to end up being more of a pass catching tight end, kind of like a Charlie Kohler. He's down, 4th down. Okay. So I don't think he'll replace Sainer, but I think he will get some run this year. Like if Chase Allen or Charlie Kohler need a spell, I think that's when we'll probably see Easton Dean. I don't think he's the F back type. But I don't know what I was thinking here. Where's Greg Eisworth? We'll get him back there.
Deep in their own territory.
So yeah, I would say Easton Dean will get run, but I don't think he's the favorite to replace Sainer. I think that'll probably go to like Jared Roast. We'll probably take that spot. He was in there a few times last year, like when Sainer was hurt. He kind of hit that spot. So I think that's probably who will replace Dylan Sainer specifically. But I do think Easton Dean will get run this year.
Iowa State's offense.
Who do I think the 4 playoff teams will be this year? I would assume.
Everything is coming together for this offense. They seem
I
to be
think
getting with each series. And you know, this game started
for playoff teams. I mean,
I wondered if they were going to be able to.
I'm assuming Alabama's going to be there. Clemson will be there.
They seem to, as I said, they seem to be growing with their confidence with each possession.
Trying to think who's in that conversation right now. I mean, I'm just assuming Clemson and Alabama will be there. Depending on what Ohio State's QB looks like, I'm sure they'll probably be up there. I think Oklahoma has a really good shot to be up there. I mean, the Big 12 champion will probably be up there, unless they're like a 2-loss champion. If the Big 12 champion's a 1-loss champion, I think they'll be up there. We're gonna have him swing. Yep, just like that. Oh, I threw it. Damn it.
Big time call by the defensive coordinator.
Trying to think if there's any like good dark horses.
One thing to bring a linebacker safety. When you bring the corner, you're really taking a chance because
I mean, you know, there's always seemed like a Georgia or something like that I suppose could sneak in there. I don't think the Pac-12's in it. I'm not going to be in it at all. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting teams. The cool part is we get to talk about Iowa State as a potential contender. Xavier's open, except for that guy's going to undercut it because it was not a great throw. Damn it! All he had to do was lead him outside, like I told him to. Too quick. I watch all the hype tapes. They're fire. Thank you. We put a lot of work and a lot of effort into those hype tapes, so I'm very glad that you enjoy those. Sean Shaw going to finally break out. I think he's got a good chance to. The problem is he's got to deal. He's got to find targets somewhere between Xavier Hutchinson getting lots of them. You know, Brace Hall is still threatening the running game. You've got those tight ends. You know, unless they start throwing the ball more. I mean, you know, it depends on what your definition of breakout is going to be, I guess. But, I mean, he could. He's certainly talented enough to do it. He's got to get some more targets. He's got to be a more consistent route runner. But he can definitely get up there. Unique League College Football on Instagram. Confession, I actually don't use the Instagram. Our Instagram page is run by Aiden Wyatt. So, personally, I do not know them, no, because I don't use Instagram. I know I'm an old fart, but Instagram's not my thing.
From the 23-yard line, 3rd down.
Let's see. Sean Shaw is someone who's going to go have a better pro career than college career. Well, the tricky part, though, is you might have been able to say something about that like Hakeem Butler, because Hakeem Butler is, you know, they're similarly sized player. The problem is that right now, the NFL doesn't really value the really tall receivers. It doesn't really value, unless they're like freakishly athletic. The NFL doesn't really care about the really tall receivers. So, and he doesn't have the same straight line speed that Hakeem Butler did. So I have doubts. I have doubts that Sean Shaw, I mean, unless he like really, really breaks out and we see more from him, I don't necessarily see him as being, I don't see him as being like a really big NFL guy necessarily. He certainly could, depending. Yeah, depends. It'll be up to him on if he gets a shot at it. But as far as like long-term potential, especially having a better career than he is in college, it's tough because, like I said, the NFL doesn't really value the tall receivers anymore. A cameo of Juicy Wiggle again in a hype tape. See, the thing about that is that we have generally tried to avoid reusing songs as much as we possibly can, because we don't want people to be like, oh, they use this, and like, you know, say that we use the same songs for all the hype tapes and stuff like that. So we try to avoid reusing songs whenever we possibly can. So I would guess it'll probably be quite a while before you hear Juicy Wiggle on a new hype tape. It's possible, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Breece Hall would go a little bit farther downfield. Best pizza place names. Like I said, I haven't, like, the pizza places that were there when I was in Ames are totally different than the ones that are there now. Like, my favorite place when I was in Ames was Vesuvius. But I know Vesuvius does not exist anymore. I know people seem to really like Blaze. I've never been to Blaze, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know Black Market Pizza just closed. So I don't know. I honestly don't know if I know enough of the pizza places. Oh my God, please. Of course it was behind him. Are you guys still doing the season highlight video? I saw something. Yes, we are still doing that. It's a very big project, and we kind of got hung up a little bit with because I'm putting the season highlight tape together. So I kind of got hung up a little bit with work, a little bit with basketball season, and it's also just a very big project. But hoping to have that done by the end of the month or something like that, like towards the end of March, like right before, probably do it like right before spring football. Maybe kind of do it as a spring football hype tape kind of thing, something along those lines. But yes, the highlight tape is definitely coming. Julie asks, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? Favorite ice cream flavor is pecan praline. I know it's an odd one, but I'm a big pecan praline fan.
There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense.
All right, it's probably time to pay attention to this game. We'll get him on a spy, get him out there to cover that guy. Running all sorts of slants.
Down he goes around the 42-yard line.
First down.
From the 42-yard line, it's first down.
Yeah, I thought I heard Black Market Pizza close. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't live in Ames anymore. So, oh my God, did Spencer Sanders just truck Mike Rose?
He makes it out to maybe the 39-yard line.
Okay. But I thought I heard that Black Market Pizza closed. Let's see. Too quick. We're going to be so good this year. 2022 starters back. It's just insane to think about. Yeah, it really is. Take away anything on offense. We have something else ready. Yeah, the offense is really difficult to stop because we saw it in the Fiesta Bowl too. They're perfectly happy with just leaning on. They're just perfectly happy with leaning on the run game and letting it do its thing.
He's at the 30.
Man, they're just trucking everybody. When Brock Purdy's really good, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So if Brock Purdy's good and Breece Hall's good, I mean, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you stop that. Let's see. Is McDonald to Will McDonald? Is he a guy that can get drafted high, be successful, or is he too small? So that's an interesting question. So there's kind of two schools of thought. Is that one, he is small. He's undersized, certainly for a defensive end. But the NFL loves, and they will always find a spot for premium edge rushers. They love to find spots for those guys, and get them. Those guys will have a job, and we've seen that. And the NFL has really evolved too to help out guys like that. And we saw it with the stand-up edge rushers like Khalil Mack has been, Von Miller, that kind of player where it's just a stand-up edge rusher. They're technically a linebacker, but they're really a stand-up edge rusher. Spot like that, Will McDonald can do that. Now, how much he plays in the NFL will partially depend on if he can put on any size or any of that stuff. That'll be a partial factor. But
Scrambling around.
Get him down. Oh, come on. So yeah, I don't know. He's got a chance. He's really athletic. He's got a great chance at it.
So the booth is trying to determine
Looking for an ICU in Vegas. Since I live in Phoenix now, it's so much closer to me. Still a little sour about the bowl game here with yeah. I'm going to be in Vegas. I've already got a flight ready to go. I've already got an Airbnb booked, waiting for tickets to go on sale. I'm going to be in Vegas. A lot of the wide right people are going to be in Vegas. We're going to have a party at some bar, someplace. We'll find a bar, someplace to have a tailgate or a party at. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a good time in Vegas.
So after review, they'll change the spot of the ball, and we'll play football again. Oklahoma State is lining up to kick this one off. Sends it sailing downfield. He's to the 10.
Should have bounced that. Damn it. You think that maybe they should change the college football players from 4 to 6 or 8? I'd like to see 8. I'd like to see the 5 conference champions plus 3 at-larges. That's what I like. That would be my preference. Let's see here. Chris had a good question here. He deleted it, but he has a good question about if we had any special offseason content planned as far as interviews or stuff like that. And like I said, I can't tell you about our big surprise. I can't tell you about that just yet. But the answer to your question is yes. We've got really good offseason content planned. We've got good interviews ready to go. We've got a couple of them lined up. We're working on a couple other ones. We're really, really excited about our new offseason content, and I'm really excited. It's killing me not to be able to tell you guys about it because we're really excited for it. It's going to be really fun. Can you murder Beals as well? I guarantee you, if you put me and Cyclone Larry in a room, I could drink his ass under the table. I guarantee it. I will, and if Larry is watching this or finds out about this, 100%, I will put Larry's ass under the table. Does Wide Right have anything fun? Oh yeah, I just talked. Yep. Yeah, like I mentioned, Chris, we've got lots of good stuff that I'm really excited to tell you about in the very, very near future as soon as we're ready to announce it. And we've got a couple doozy interviews ready to go that we're very excited about. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. Let's go. We're going to do a drag route here. Sean Shaw. Right there. We're going to hurry up. Did I get a chance to listen to the Cyclone Fanatic interview with John Haycock? I have not yet. I am planning on listening to it. I just have not had a chance to do that yet. I have personally talked with John Haycock a little bit. I remember talking with him at the Cyclone Fanatic recruiting party a couple years ago, back when we were still meeting in person and stuff like that. And I remember it was before the 2019 season, and I specifically asked John what he thought about what he thought about Isheem Young, who was an incoming freshman at the time. And you should have seen his eyes light up as soon as I brought him up. He was super excited about Isheem Young, and you know what? And I watched this film, I was excited about it, and as soon as I saw John Haycock's eyes light up when I mentioned Isheem Young, that made me excited about him too. And as it turns out, we were both right because he's a very good player. Who do you think are the 3 best Cyclone football and basketball players of all time? Good question. Okay. I'm going to start with basketball because I think this is a slightly easier question. 3 best basketball players of all time: George Niang, Monte Morris, Fred Hoiberg. I think that's an easy top 3.
Brad, I thought the offense did a nice job of mixing up the play calling on that drive.
Top 3 football players. I'm going to go ahead and say... okay, football's harder because there's a couple all-timers on the team right now. And so you have to, are you saying that, like, are you doing it on talent, or are you doing it on career accomplishments, or who would you want on your team, stuff like that? Because, like, you look at a guy like Troy Davis, who ran, first running back to run for 2,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. Obviously had a very distinguished career, Iowa State legend. But if you asked me to pick between Troy Davis and Breece Hall to put on a team right now, I'd take Breece Hall. So does that make Breece Hall better, even though his stats aren't anywhere near what Troy's are? So 3 greatest players ever. I'm going to grade this partially on guys that I would take right now and partially on their careers. So I think one of them is definitely Allen Lazard. I'm not going to rank these ones, but Allen Lazard is one of them. I think Brock Purdy is one of them. I don't think there's a way. I don't think there's any way you can discredit. I don't think there's any way you can. There's no argument against Brock Purdy being anything less than the best quarterback Iowa State's ever had. He owns every record, winningest quarterback ever. I mean, there's no argument against Brock Purdy. He is the greatest quarterback ever. He is, in my opinion, one of the 3 greatest players Iowa State's ever had. So Brock Purdy, Allen Lazard. So what do you do for the third one? Do you do a guy like Dave Montgomery? Do you do Breece Hall? Do you say a guy like Chris Washington? Do you say a guy like Matt Blair? Do you say Mike Rose? You know, there's a lot of candidates here. AJ Klein, Kelechi Osemele. I'm gonna say. Oh, I should have picked that off. If we're going on pure talent and their career, I am prepared to say that Kelechi Osemele is the third best is one of the other 3 best Cyclones of all time. He's a lineman, so you don't think about him all the time, but man, he was ridiculous. Especially if you watch, like, in that 2011 Oklahoma State game. I mean, he was unbelievable that game. I'm inclined to say that Kelechi Osemele is one of the 3 best Cyclones ever, along with Brock Purdy and Allen Lazard.
Johnson picks up around 5 yards with that catch.
It's on an unrated football player list. We didn't appreciate how good Jarvis West was. Jarvis West was a lot of fun to watch. Man, he was really good. I kind of wish he was on one of these teams that we have now, like a Matt Campbell team. He'd be a lot of fun to watch. Let's see. Isaiah Shipper says Seneca. Seneca is an interesting one. I think Seneca is a perfect. If you put him in there, that's a perfectly fair inclusion into the top 3. But I think if you're picking between Seneca and Brock, I think if you just look at production, you look at how much they win. I mean, I think Brock has basically every argument going. I mean, Seneca was a better runner, but more accurate, more productive, won more games. I mean, I don't see any way you can put Seneca. In my mind, I don't see any way you put Seneca over Brock. But if you're going with, if you're going to go with a guy that's like how electric they were, how fun they were to watch, all that, Seneca's a perfectly worthy inclusion. Interesting question. How much better do you think Dave Montgomery would look with the improvements the Lions made? That's interesting. I've thought about this, and there's 2 ways you can think about this. So David's best attributes were making something out of nothing, like his vision in space, being able to make guys miss, things like that. His main deficiency, at least in college, was his straight line speed, his ability to turn the corner and to run past defenders, things like that. Part of the advantage is that you get with a good offensive line, with a really good offensive line. The advantages that come with that is that you have more space to run, and speed becomes more of a factor. So so you can either say, well, Dave Montgomery would have more space, more open space. He can make safeties miss in the open field instead of linemen, or instead of defensive ends or something like that. You can make that argument, and that's a perfectly fair argument. Or you could say that because David's primary deficiency was his top line speed, that maybe he wouldn't be able to take advantage of this offensive line in the same way that Breece Hall can with his speed.
And I'm sure he's happy to have this new record.
He's already broken his single season sack record. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Who do you think had the easiest and hardest schedule last year? That's a tough one. I don't know everybody's. I don't know everybody's scheduled. There's a good argument to me that Iowa State had the hardest schedule. They played the most difficult non-conference schedule, and then they played every single game on the schedule. So they played every single Big 12 team. They played the hardest non-conference schedule. So I think there's a great argument that Iowa State had the toughest schedule in college football last season. Easiest. If you're looking at easiest, I think you look at somebody like an Ohio State that played virtually nobody. Yeah, they proved to be a good team, but they played nobody. Part of that was due to COVID and all that, but they played virtually nobody. I think I saw a comment about an early Heisman. Wow, that was to nobody. Oh, Greg, let's go. You broke the tackle. Here we go. Greg Osworth! Iowa also had an easy schedule too. So early Heisman winner, I think someone like Spencer Rattler seems like a pretty obvious one that you can probably pencil into the final ceremony. The DJ Ugalele guy from Clemson, it's probably one you could probably put up there. I don't know if he's a pencil-in kind of guy, but he's probably up there. I don't know. I'm sure there's some other Clemson guys that are going to be in that category. I suppose, in theory, a guy like Marvin Mims from Oklahoma could be up in that conversation. There's a lot of them. Let's see. Tom Farniok. That's a good poll. Tom Farniok was always a very underrated player. You could see when he graduated, the Iowa State line missed him greatly for a long time. Really, Tom Farniok's lines were the last good offensive lines for Iowa State. After that is kind of when they went downhill.
And he shoved out of bounds around the 19-yard line. It's 2nd and 11. Ball on the 19-yard line. Now he's scrambling. And he's
ooh, Mike Rose. He wasn't trucking Mike Rose that time.
You have to like how this linebacker was able to move up quickly and bring down the ball carrier for a short gain. Nice stop by the junior.
Let's run this. We'll run our cover 3, but then we'll put Vance on a spy. I'm assuming we're going to have some slants and stuff like that coming across, so we'll use Jake Hummel to cover underneath routes.
He's going to try and scramble. They'll bring him down at about
all right.
the 27-yard line.
Thoughts on Deion Broomfield joining the staff? Good question. I love the hire of Deion Broomfield. Great hire. Former Iowa State safety. He's coaching the safeties. He's been coaching for about 5 years now. Been on a couple of good staffs. He was on the Houston Texans staff last year. Oh shit, Lawrence White, what are you doing?
Takes it at the 20.
Oh my God, what's happening? Okay. He's a rising star. He's everything that I've heard. I've talked to a few different people. We talked about on Down the Pipe a couple weeks ago when it happened, because Cole Netton played with him, and he had nothing but great things to say about Deion. Everything I've heard, I've heard nothing but awesome things about Deion Broomfield. He's great guy, even better coach type of thing. or other way around, great coach, even better guy. I think he's a perfect fit for Matt Campbell. I couldn't be happier with that hire. Losing DK McDonald was a big loss. He's a really great coach, but boy, they hit a home run by getting Dion. Big time hire. Love it. Whenever John Haycock does decide to hang it up, it would not surprise me if if Dion is here at the time. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Dion is one of the leading candidates to take over for John Haycock whenever he does decide to hang it up. And I'm certainly not implying that John Haycock's getting ready to retire anytime soon or anything like that. I think that's a pretty invigorated staff. I think they really like coaching with Matt Campbell and all that. I certainly don't think he's anywhere close to retiring. When you have this many young stars on staff, you're gonna have to find spots for them eventually, or they're gonna go to other places. And that's honestly Iowa State's biggest challenge right now, is just hanging on to their really good young coaching talent.
So it's 2nd and 10.
I want to run that play again because I really like Xavier Hutchinson's post route here. But that's a cover 2, so I'm going to do one of these. We'll hit Brees Hall.
And he's hit before he can go anywhere. Nice
All right.
Pickup as they connect on the pass play.
Well, they look to be in sync right now. They're both reading the defense properly, and the result is a nice game.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
Sean Shaw's open.
Missed him.
Oh! Damn it.
Was the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Second down, 10 to go. Ball on the 41-yard line.
Probably look for one of the slants here, like Sean.
And they make the stop at about the 29-yard line. Good pitch. And
Well, is Wally Burnham a good coach and a bad staff, or part of the problem in the Rhodes area? I think Wally was a good coach. I think that whole staff was very antiquated. I think they had a really old school way of thinking, and that was part of what doomed them. But I do think for what he was, I think Wally Burnham was a good coach. Sean Shaw is open, but
quickly, and it's picked off.
didn't throw it far enough in front of him. So yeah, I think Wally Burnham was good at what he needed to be good at, and that's how I would categorize it.
From their own 35-yard
But yeah, like I said, like a lot of the rest of the staff, they were antiquated, old school thinking. They didn't evolve with the times. They tried to beat Iowa at their own game. And the problem is that Iowa had been doing it for a long time, and it's just kind of what it was, and it ended up coming back to bite them. Meanwhile, Jaquan Bailey continuing to extend his single season sack record, just obliterating it.
Less than 3 minutes in the game. He's on the run.
And he's gonna get there. Who are they gonna give the sack to?
Well, this speed is difficult to defend because
They gave it to Jaquan Bailey. He's got his 3rd sack. Love Purdy, but the interception was he kind of was, honestly, which is disappointing, because he was open. He just needed to lead him further outside, and it just was underthrown and ended up really poor. I'm going to take the safety over because I wanted to play a little bit deeper. Oh, shit, we've got a screen. Get out of bounds, Chuba. All right, there we go.
That's good for a gain of 4 yards. That makes it 4th and 1.
Let's go. On the ball. Quick.
Can they get outside, turn the corner? Nope.
At the 40-yard line.
Return for a gain of 6 yards.
Let's run the ball a little bit.
The offense will take the field, hoping for a better result than their last drive.
And I don't think this defense will lay down lightly. They're going to try to continue to rattle this guy.
He makes it out to maybe the 43.
NCAA football kind of messed with me there. It kind of kept using that animation that just keeps shuffling him off along the offensive line. We're going to run that again. I like that dive with that lead, with the lead F back. Big fan of that dive.
Makes it out to about the 43. The Cowboys are going to call their second timeout.
I think we're just going to run it again. I don't see any reason to change. It's a really good run play.
Just under 2 minutes in the game.
Do aggressive slide protection.
He fights forward to about the 43. Oklahoma State will take their final timeout.
We're going to do this play action boot.
We've got a 2nd and 9 here. Ball on the 43.
Good question from Isaiah. Favorite console and video game? Okay. I'm going to say favorite console.
Quick out to the receiver, and he can't make the grab. The wide receiver wasn't able to hang on.
I'm just going to say that
This guy is a true enforcer.
that's a tough one. Because a lot of my favorite games of all time were on 360. I think the Xbox One, and then I have a Series X, the next gen console. I think those are better consoles, like overall. But my favorite games ever. Oh, he caught him. My favorite games ever are on 360. So I guess I'll say 360. Favorite game of all time: Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Perfect, just about a perfect video game. Honorable mention to BioShock Infinite. Great game. Love that game. We're on PA inverted veer. I know it's 4th down. I don't need to go for it, but I'm going to anyways. Team outside of Sooners that seems dangerous for ISU. Well, as I've made well clear myself, one of my least favorite teams to play in college football is UNI. Can't stand playing Northern Iowa. Other team, Oklahoma State, worries me a little bit. Texas is one to keep an eye on. But those are probably the main ones. And Iowa, I would say for sure. Let's see what else we got. Would you like to know the full contract details from Matt Campbell? Since you guys, I would like to know the contract details, and I think we're going to find them out at some point. I don't know if they've actually been released yet or not. Come on, he's got it. He's got it. Oh.
Have you ever heard of sportsmanship? You've got a huge lead and you're still throwing the football.
I heard of sportsmanship. Look at my nuts. Herb Street.
Stops the clock. I'm going to start pulling for the defense to get back into this game.
Or a halfback dive.
Play of the series.
4 down. 7's the Mike. Mike 7.
He makes it to the 28-yard line. Hall gains around 3 yards on the run.
Why do we continue to schedule UNI when we struggle to beat them? Because it's an in-state rivalry. We have kind of a thing going where we play them every other year. They are still a good matchup for Iowa State as far as improving. UNI will expose a lot of your deficiencies, especially from a fundamental standpoint. They'll expose a lot of your deficiencies, and it's something that's good for Iowa State. I think Iowa State should beat them fairly easily this year. But it's still going to be a challenging game. They have to play well. I mean, they just do. If they want to come out with a win, and that's why UNI is good for Iowa State. Oh, I want this touchdown. I'm sure we were favored by more than this in Vegas, so I want to make sure that we cover. Let's run it out of that. One of those fun tight end heavy shot slot. On this, if we don't get it here, I'm going to run that speed option. Slap protection, straight ahead. Do one of these. Brees Hall's in.
A big score here late in the 4th quarter, and now they've given themselves some breathing room in this football game.
Very good. Okay, so Jackson, so hopefully it's changed this year, but if we continue to struggle early in the season, someone has to answer for it. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can look at this. If Iowa State loses to UNI or something like that, then there's, I don't know if someone's got to like answer for it necessarily so much as we, I mean, kind of, but I mean, like nobody's getting fired or anything like that, but like, yeah, there'll be questions to be asked on why, and I'm sure the staff, I'm sure Matt Campbell's staff will be asking themselves why. Trying to figure out why they're starting slow. I'm sure they'll ask themselves that, and I'm sure they have before. If they struggle, if they eke out a bunch of close wins early in the season, I don't care. Win's a win. If you can, and like I said, Iowa State has. If they get to 5-0, we're in business. I don't care if you get to 5-0 comfortably, win every game by 20. Or if you win every game by 1. I don't care. 5-0 is 5-0, and that's what matters, and that's what matters to me. So even if Iowa State has to beat UNI in overtime again, they'll drop in the rankings, but they'll still be 1-0, and that's what matters. Then you come back and you beat Iowa, and you beat UNLV, and you beat Baylor, and you beat Kansas. You beat all of those. They don't have to. I mean, by the time you get to Baylor and Kansas, Iowa State should be kind of getting tuned up a little bit and playing better and all that, so you would expect them to get there. But especially the first couple games, just get wins. Just like we did. Just win, baby. 28-12, good. Okay, Isaac, I don't think this will ever happen, but if Iowa were to get a pro sports team, what sport do you think it would be, and what would the team name be? So I really doubt. So I mean, really, your contenders here are football, basketball, baseball, hockey, or soccer. Those are going to be your 5 options. Football, never going to happen. Des Moines is. I can't see. I mean, you need a full new stadium and everything. I mean, you have to do a whole deal for. And I mean, they would have to build a new stadium and everything. Not going to happen. Baseball, same deal. You're gonna have to build a whole new stadium. Not gonna happen. Also, baseball as a sport is kind of shrinking. I'm not saying it's dying, but it's shrinking to the point where I don't see them expanding the MLB anytime soon, if ever, and certainly not to Des Moines, especially with the AAA Iowa Cubs there already. I'm going to say, sorry, I'm getting the recap for the basketball game published here real quick. So then you're kind of down to hockey, soccer, or basketball. Soccer is an interesting one because you could probably start them out like you can have a USHL team and stuff, or not USHL. You can trying to remember what the name of the league is, but the minor league team, the minor league for soccer. You can have that. I don't know if you would count that as pro, as a high major pro though. MLS team, I don't know. I don't see Des Moines being that kind of market. So really, you're down to hockey and basketball, which are both interesting options because you have Wells Fargo Arena, which is already supporting a G League team. So which means it is certainly capable of supporting an NBA team. It doesn't hold quite as many fans as some of the other NBA arenas, but it's certainly big enough to have one for now. So you've already got an arena in place for basketball. So NBA would not be a bad option. Now it's kind of tricky because you've already got the Timberwolves, you've already got the Bulls, you've already got the Bucks. So you've already got 3 NBA teams fairly close to it. So, but that's not a bad option. There's enough interest around here that you could potentially support an NBA basketball team. NHL is an interesting one too because Iowa is a growing hockey state. More people are playing hockey in Iowa now. It's situated between a lot of really big hockey markets like Minnesota, Chicago, Denver. You're actually just as close to almost the same distance to Edmonton, Canada, as you are to Denver. So it's in the middle of a bunch of really, really good hockey talent, which is why I still maintain that instead of bringing back baseball, Iowa State should, if you're going to add a D1 sport, Iowa State should add a hockey team instead of a baseball team, because the recruiting is going to be way better. It's impossible for northern schools to compete in baseball. It's not going to happen. So if I'm going to have to pick one, I'm going to say the NBA, because I think that league is more ready to expand than the NHL, because the NHL just expanded. So if the NBA was going to expand, there's a few other places that would go first. I mean, like Louisville, Kansas City would be a natural. Kansas City should be number one on their list. Seattle. So there's a few other places that would come ahead of it. But I think the NBA is closer to expanding than the NHL. So I'm going to go ahead and say an NBA team. But I do think that the NHL could be successful here. I think there are some hockey fans here. The Iowa Wild already play here, obviously, at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is certainly big enough for an NHL team. And I think having an NHL team, especially in the middle of all of this, especially in the same area as the USHL, which is what the Des Moines Bucks, the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, Waterloo Blackhawks, Dubuque Saints, that's one of the best youth leagues on the entirety of planet Earth. And Iowa has like 40% of the teams in the league. So you have that youth talent in that close proximity. Iowa's a growing hockey state. I think a hockey team, an NHL team, could make a lot of sense. Calzone, hi. Kansas State's number 12. All right. Okay. Let's check our recruiting board. Oh, we are killing it on this 4-star defensive tackle. Just killing it. Same on the defensive end. 4-star from Alabama. 4-star from linebacker from Minnesota. Probably going to lose that one to Iowa. Tony Maxwell. We're still right there, man. They lost 59-19 when they were there. Okay, but we got them week 13. I don't know what game that is, but we got to make sure week 13 that we've got them lined up and ready to go. How are we doing here on the tackle? We're fine there. Kicking ass on the kicker now. Oh, wait, we've already got a kicker so I don't need to... Didn't I put points on another kicker someplace? Yeah, I don't need him. But we did give a scholarship to a QB and didn't put points on him, so we're gonna put points on him now. We're too far behind probably, but whatever. Anything worth a damn here? Not really. We're in the lead for him. I don't know if he's any good. 92 speed. That's acceptable. Let's see. Do I think we'll make the playoff this year based on talent? Based on talent? No. Based on culture, doing the right thing? Potentially. Iowa State, A+ championship contender. I love it. 92 speed on that guy? Yeah, big fan. All right. I want to get back to... There we go. Okay. Anyone here? We're going to probably win. We might win both of those over Iowa without putting any points into them. That's funny. Man, 72 speed is a bummer for that tight end. 71 for that one. Not a big fan of that. But we're gaining recruiting points right now. How are we doing on this guy? We're not going to catch him, but those are doing terrible. Myron Anderson, not going to catch him. Sure, why not? He's interested. We can probably take him. I don't think we really need to put points into him. Sure. We'll try that. All right. I think we are about ready to go. Are we playing at? Yes, we are playing at Kansas State. Thoughts on Taylor Mauser moving up to the coaching staff? Another great one. Love that move. I think that's an awesome. That promotion is well deserved. Has been for a long time. He deserves that promotion, most certainly. So good for Taylor. Really happy for him. And if you talk to anybody that's been coached by him, glowing reviews. We'll go all white for this Kansas State one. And we'll do that. People are tweeting about me calling out Larry about murdering beers. Got to go. I'll be in the next stream for sure. Thank you, Calzone. So what I'm thinking about doing, because I'm going to be out of the state entirely, for the next 2 weeks for work. So what I'm thinking about doing, is maybe on Sunday during the day, potentially playing, doing like a 4 to 6 hour stream and playing a bunch of games right in a row. Thinking about Sunday, maybe starting at like 10 o'clock or something like that and playing through the afternoon. So I'll probably tweet about it from the main account, from the Wide Right account, sometime, I don't know, sometime between now and then. Sometime tomorrow or Saturday, I'll tweet out about it. Or Sunday morning, and then I'm thinking about. I think I'm gonna do like a long stream on Sunday. Like I said, start at maybe 10 a.m. Central Time, and then play through the afternoon. Play a bunch of games right in a row. Let me tweet quickly.
We'll see how these two teams play in this game as they prepare for the opening kickoff. And he got all of this one. Great kick.
Let's see here. Let's do this. Oh my God, he's got room. And then just disappeared. Let's see.
The Cyclone's offense basically predicated on what this kid can do.
I'm going to pause this real quick because I need to tweet out the final score from the last game. And I forgot to do it because I was talking too much. Let's see. All right.
Is just the intangibles that he brings to the table. We've been seeing this guy make plays over the weeks, but the thing that I really recognize is his ability to really lead this football team.
Yes. Isopoko. Big fan.
When things are not going well, he's trying to.
Let's see. What do you think the standings will be in the Big 12 for football next year? I think it'll be Oklahoma and Iowa State 1 and 2 somewhere. And then I think second place could be a few different teams. Could be TCU, could be Oklahoma State. I'm inclined to believe that TCU will finish third, Oklahoma State fourth, West Virginia fifth, Texas sixth, probably Kansas State 7, Texas Tech 8, Baylor 9, Kansas 10, something along those lines. Could be Baylor 8, Texas Tech 9, but I think somewhere like that. I'm going to send Xavier Hutchinson deep just in case he beats that guy off the line. Or in case Sean Shaw.
He's taken down at the 38-yard line.
We're going to do that again.
They can do better than that.
That's a nice cover 2 beating route combo right there. Which they are not running cover 2.
He's scrambling. Pressure coming. Got it.
There you go.
Down immediately. Milton picks up about 4 yards with the catch.
Kind of wish it would have gone to his right, or to Tariq's left, towards the sideline, like I told it to. But that is okay. We're gonna run the read option.
It's second down, 6 to go. Ball on the 34.
Brock Purdy. All right, there we go.
The 25.
This is the kind of steady, strong drive that coaches love to see. Right now, they're firing on all cylinders.
We're running again. Different formation, but same play. Hopefully, he's in. I was hoping to let that linebacker be our read.
Tackle at the 29.
The defense got a great push.
Should have audibled
Up
to a play action.
behind the line of scrimmage.
Or to just a straight handoff.
Second down, 14 coming up here.
We're on a play action.
Yard line.
Thinking Tariq Milton might be open here, but we'll see. Dylan Saner's open. Oh, I should have lobbed it. Damn it.
That was a dangerous pass.
Well, you should have known
That was my fault. I should have lobbed it.
coverage like that. You can't expect the receiver to come down.
And I should have just thrown it regular instead. Try to lead him upfield. Jay Cummel getting outside.
Makes it out to
Eat shit, Deuce Vaughn.
yard line.
That's good for a gain of 1 yard. That brings up second and 9.
From their own 20-yard line. It's second down.
3 down. 34's the mic. 34's the mic. He's coming. Check in.
They might do something weird here. He's out of bounds. Oh, he was out of bounds.
At the 29-yard line.
That'll bring up third and inches.
Think Brees has a shot at a 2,000-yard season? No. The reason is that basically nobody runs for 2,000 yards anymore, partially because Iowa State is a very balanced offense, and he will not get enough carries. You have to get a lot of carries to get to 2,000 yards. Like, you have to have a significant workload. I mean, even like Wisconsin backs only barely get to 2,000, and they run it nonstop behind one of the best run blocking offensive lines. I mean, routinely like top 5 run blocking offensive lines in the country. And you know, Wisconsin backs either barely get to 2,000 or end up short. So no, Brees will not be a 2,000-yard running back. 1,500, certainly reasonable. 2,000's a lot of yards. Aside from like those random the random schools that run it just nonstop, the era of the 2,000-yard rusher is dwindling quickly. Kind of like to me, 2,000-yard rushers are kind of like 300-win pitchers in baseball, where I think they are.
Interception cut this offense last drive short, so I think
they're going away. They're almost. They're not extinct. They're not as extinct as 300 yard or as 300 game winner pitchers in baseball. They're not that extinct, because there are still plenty of college teams that do run like super run heavy offenses and stuff like that. Like Buffalo, that guy from Buffalo had a bunch of yards last year. Wisconsin backs will always have a shot at it, but for the most part, 2,000-yard backs are kind of they're going away.
This comes down to the timing between the quarterback and the receiver, and the result, again, a nice play for the offense.
First and 10. Ball on the 38-yard line.
I'd love to hit Xavier here if I get time, but Brees is wide open, so I'm not going to mess with it. Oh, he's just trucking through people.
Around the 18-yard line.
Which 3 fan bases whine the most? Okay. Good question. Let's see here. Whine the most. It depends on how you're going to define whining. Because there's a lot of people that would say Iowa State fans whine a lot about the refs.
play.
I'm going to edit your question to say which fan bases are the most annoying. And I will say that Iowa fans are extraordinarily annoying. And then I will say
First down. First and goal here inside the 5-yard line.
insufferable fans. I mean, okay, so I haven't personally had this experience with them, but I do know there's a lot of people that really can't stand Texas A&M fans. So I guess I'll lump them in there. And then my third one is actually outside of Alabama and maybe Georgia. I'm just going to say the SEC in general, because there's like 2 or 3 schools in that conference that have deserved that have earned the opportunity to kind of be able to talk smack a little bit and really brag about what they're doing. The rest of that conference has been riding on the coattails of Alabama for a long time. Oh, he didn't hang on to that?
Time for an update from the studio.
So yeah.
The Longhorns enter today's game
Texas fans aren't bad, actually. They think they should be better than they are, but maybe they should be, but
looks like they're ready for kickoff. He just
I think there's a lot of them. Most of the Texas fans that I deal with, I think are generally.
He gets out to about the 22-yard line.
I think they've been knocked off their high horse far enough where I don't think they think their team is, you know, God's gift to earth or anything like that like they used to. There certainly are some, but Florida State being up there is interesting. I mean, that's probably worth it up there, but I think Florida State has sort of been knocked off their pegs a little bit too. Maybe not. You know, maybe our Donnie report is accurate, and, you know, Florida State really thinks that they're still a true blue blood, or, you know, Florida State still thinks they're a full blue blood and everything like that. But Kansas State fans are a good one. That's a good poll. Kansas State fans they were fine. Kansas State fans are really nice, and they were really fun to be around and stuff like that until Iowa State got good at football. Kansas State fans were really, really good to talk to. But ever since Iowa State got better at football, they kind of became insufferable very quickly. Nebraska fans. Okay, so Nebraska fans are one that I see. I've interacted with them on Twitter mostly, but I'm from Eastern Iowa, so I have almost no relationship to Nebraska, really. I mean, I like Iowa State playing them and stuff like that, obviously. But, you know, I don't have the same like hatred for Nebraska as people from Western Iowa do, because I dealt with Iowa fans my whole life. I never really dealt with Nebraska fans that much. So that's probably where that comes from. But yeah, Nebraska fans the ones I interact with on Twitter, a lot of them are kind of the very memeable Nebraska fans that are just totally delusional about where what state their program is in, and what level of prestige it actually holds. I'll run this post play again because I know I've been kind of running it a lot, but I really want to hit that. I really want to hit Xavier on that post at some point. I don't know when I'll be able to do that, but I'll just keep hitting Brees right there. Truck.
He's tackled at the 33-yard line.
That's a gain of 17 on the play. First down.
From the 33-yard line, it's first down. Now he's scrambling. And he's
Good throw. Finally, a throw that's far enough out in front. Set my feet and threw it. Bang. Perfect. We'll call this wide receiver in. B is going to be too far downfield probably. But can I do a smart route? Kind of. I think I'm probably going to end up hitting Xavier Hutchinson here, but or throwing it away.
And he just gets rid of it.
Great job by the defense at getting after that.
I don't know why he decided to throw all the way to that side of the field, but
He appears to be a bit rattled.
whatever.
From the 14-yard line. It's
Go read option here. Nope. We're going to just go regular run play. pull the guard around. Someone's not going to hold their block. Favorite Iowa State tradition? Could be sports or 801 Visha. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't care about 801 Day because I was in Greek. Don't care about any of that. Visha was a good one. I was there. Fortunately, I was the last class that got to have Visha every year. I never went a year in college without Visha. So thankful for that. I would say probably Visha. Honestly, one of the newer, favorite sports tradition is probably the Juicy Wiggle now. I know it's new, but honestly, that might be my favorite one up to this point. Non-sports tradition, probably Visha. Yeah, I'd say Visha. 50-50 mix for Iowa fans are just less successful Nebraska fans, yeah.
Iowa State with a 6-point lead.
Sean Shaw is open.
All right. And down he goes, right around the 2-yard line. On 3rd and long, they get the first down, but was it close?
Let's see
what a
here.
relief it is to the quarterback to have a new set of downs to work with.
First down. Knocking on
Run
the
this
door
screen
here.
because I think they're gonna bring some heat here. Maybe not. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Straight up the middle.
And he adds the extra
All right.
point. A 6-play, 51-yard drive. And a touchdown as a result. Looks like they're ready for the kick.
Looks set to return.
He really got a hold of that kick. He's to the 20. Tackle at the 23.
Favorite experience you've had being on the wide right staff? Oh man, there's a lot of them.
It was a pretty one-sided first quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised if things changed in a big way.
I'll just start listing off a few of my favorites. First of all, the staff that I have working for me,
Great job by the running back. And that's
all the writers have been awesome. So working with them has been a really great, been a pleasure. A lot of really talented writers. So we've written since I've been in charge. We've written a lot of really fun articles that I've been pretty proud of. The podcast, developing our podcast has been great. I've really enjoyed doing that. That's been a fun challenge for myself, learning how to do that stuff. But then, just being part of that kind of thing, because when I took over, our podcasts were really spotty. Kind of almost non-existent. They were really, really spotty. Almost just nothing you could really count on. Nothing really even to be quite frank with you. Not really a lot worth. It's not. There weren't anything that you were gonna, subscribe to necessarily or make a point to, to listen to. And I think now we've got to the point between the Lightcast and Down the Pipe and Natty Light, and now my new one with Meg called Show and Tell. Between those three, I think we've got a really good podcast lineup. We're trying to keep it. We're trying to keep making it better as much as we can, and keep improving it all the time. But I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with the progress that we've made as a site on our podcast, because I think that was a space that we really needed to improve, and I think we've done a pretty good job at that. But we're still going to keep doing that going forward, doing more of that. As far as in-person stuff. The live show that we did the last couple seasons, 2018 and 2019, we did our live tailgate podcast or whatever. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed doing that. I don't know if we'll do it this fall. Right now, I would probably say no, but I can't guarantee anything. Here's the pick for Anthony Johnson.
at the 20-yard line.
Well, that's exactly
good grab there, Zach. Getting Reese Davis on the podcast was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. And part of the stuff we've done too is like Matthias and I have, we do the height videos. I've had a lot of fun doing those. If anybody doesn't know, Matthias and I swap height videos. We switch off every other one. So I know we both really enjoy putting those together. Shit, should have thrown it away. So those have been fun. Those have grown a lot. We've gotten quite a few views on those. I think people really appreciate them. So we're definitely going to keep doing those. We've done a lot of fun in-person stuff too. You know, we did our Cyclone Game Watch tour thing that we did it with Cyclone Fanatic a couple years. You know, the 2019 season. I'm thinking we're going to try to do that again at some point too. God damn, I tried throwing it. Nobody's blocking anything. You know, that's something we want to try. Those have been a lot of fun. Our tailgates have been a lot of fun. All of our different game watches we've done for all sorts of different stuff. Had a lot of fun doing those. We're going to keep doing those. Whenever we can, we're going to do our 10th anniversary party, which by the time we get to do it, it's probably going to be closer to like our 11th or 11th and a half anniversary. But it's something that's another thing that we're looking forward to doing. Tariq Milton's wide open. He's going to get the first down. You know, I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with Wide Right, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the stuff we're doing, and we're trying to do new stuff to offer something different, you know, because, you know, fortunately, Iowa State fans, I think, are generally really lucky to have as much coverage as we do. I shouldn't say lucky. You know, we interact. You know, Iowa State fans in general read enough stuff about it to have earned having a lot of coverage for the team. But you know, as far as the amount of coverage for a team with kind of the general historical reputation of Iowa State punches way above our class as far as like how much coverage you guys get. I mean, between Cyclone Fanatic and us and 247 and all the newspapers, you know, I mean, I don't even know how many podcasts there are weekly now. I mean, I think Des Moines Register's got one. Cyclone Fanatic usually puts out 1 or 2 a week. We do 2 or 3 a week. You know, at least 2, sometimes 3. You know, 247 has theirs. You know, there's lots and lots of coverage for Iowa State fans, and we, you know, especially with, you know, we have the newspapers and Cyclone Fanatic, and you know, they're more of the official journalists and stuff like that. They get basketball media passes, and they get direct access to coaches and stuff like that that we don't necessarily get. We do have a football pass ordinarily that we can go to the press conferences for that. We don't get one for basketball, and we don't get quite the same level of access to the coaches and players and things like that as some of the other ones do. So we try to do our best to offer something different, you know, because we know, I mean, in the end, you know, Wide Right is a fan blog, and we in the end, we are fans of Iowa State. Period. I mean, that is first and foremost. That is what we are, and we don't hide that. You know, we don't try to be super. We don't try to act like super professional journalists or anything like that. You know, we don't try to be anything we're not, I don't think. We try to do the best we can in providing good coverage for you because, you know, we like talking about Iowa State too. And so we try to do that to the best of our ability. And we hope you guys are enjoying that. Oh, shit. So I hope you guys have enjoyed all the different things that we've been doing, but it's something that we're looking forward to continue to do, and we've got some cool. Like I said, I think a lot of some of our off-season projects that we've got planned, I think demonstrate that we're still going to cover Iowa State sports just like we always have, but we're also going to kind of branch out a little bit and try to not just be, you know, another Cyclone blog that just talks about Iowa State with just a slightly different voice. We're still going to be that, but I think what I kind of want to do, and where I think there's, you know, room. I think there's people that would want to do that. Is that we kind of also want to be the blog that talks about what is it like, not just analyzing film and stats and shit like that. Like, you know, like anybody can do that. But we want to tap into what is it. We want to tap into the Iowa State fan experience, not just watching games and not just analyzing stuff, you know, but it's tapping into the actual experience of being an Iowa State fan. So it's the light, you know, the Cyclone life part around it too. So we've got some more stuff coming up this offseason that again, like I said, I can't tell you about it just yet, but really excited to reveal it to you when we're ready. That is more like Cyclone Life type of stuff. Like one thing that we want to do in the fall is have a bigger on-campus presence. So like, I've got a few college guys on staff, and get a feel for what's going on campus. Because even though there's a lot of us that aren't on campus anymore because we've graduated, or some that are still in high school or whatever it is that aren't on campus all the time, but we still like to keep up with our alma mater. We still like to check in on the students, see what's going on, because we all love Iowa State, and we want to do that. So we want to be able to do stuff like that and talk about what's going on campus. We're not going to turn into the Daily where we're reporting on like student government. We're not doing that, but like talk about what's it like being the college part of being an Iowa State fan. What's that experience like? Which is why one of the reasons we brought back the Just Saying section. Now we call it Off the Record because we don't want to like directly steal it from the Iowa State Daily. But not going to pretend like that's not essentially what it is. I said, I told my staff, I was like, I want to bring back the Just Saying section, but we can't call it that, so we just called it Off the Record. So that's stuff like that. We wanted to give people more of a voice. We wanted to tap into that. And there's a couple cool projects we've got coming up in the off season that I think reflect that too. That we don't want to just be Iowa State sports, and just be another Iowa State sports blog and only talk about analyzing film and stuff like that, but talk about the experience, talk about the tailgating. We didn't do it this past season because nobody tailgated, but we're the only Iowa State site that does a tailgate preview. Not that other ones couldn't do it, but we do a tailgate preview where we talk about like what recipe we're making, what beer we're drinking, stuff like that, like things like that. That's what I want to do, more of that stuff. So, and that's the kind of voice that I want to be. We still are going to have our humor. We're still going to do satire. We're still going to do. I know I didn't keep up with it this past fall because just a bunch of other things going on in life. But like the film room and stuff like that. Now that's probably going to evolve a little bit. It probably won't be the wide right film room like I was doing in like 2019. It won't be exactly that way, but that's going to evolve and that's going to come back in a certain capacity. But I'm pretty proud of where we're at right now. When I took over, we had just a shade under 15. I think we had just a shade under 15,000 Twitter followers, and now we're pushing 24,000. Our Facebook page has grown. Our podcasts, basically started from nothing, and now we're doing really well on our podcasts. We're getting good guests and all that stuff. I think we're putting out good content. We're developing our YouTube channel, which is part of the stuff I want to reveal to you very soon, is that our YouTube channel we're gonna develop this quite a bit, start doing a lot more YouTube content, and we're really excited. This is gonna be the biggest football season in Iowa State history, and we're ready to cover it and cover it from every angle that we can think of, whether it be analyzing film or analyzing stats or doing previews or whatever. But it's also the fan experience. We're going to be in Vegas. We're going to have a game. We're going to have a tailgate or a game watch or whatever. We'll have tailgates at every game that anybody that wants to certainly welcome to stop by our tailgate. We'll probably tweet out when we get there, like where our tailgate is, so people can find us. But people are certainly welcome to come and hang out with us and all that. We try to be, a voice of the fan, not the voice. We're not, and not everybody agrees with us or whatever. That's fine. We try to be, we are fans first and foremost. So we try to reflect that in our voice on the site, and that's what we want to be. So I think we've done a fairly good job of that up to this point. Maybe people disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But that's probably what I'm most proud of and had the most fun doing, is developing that voice. Because when I took over, Iowa State was bad at football. My first season as managing editor was 2017, which was the first season we got good at football. So I never managed the site while we were bad, and that was part of our brand at that point, was doing self-deprecating humor and stuff like that. And how do you do self-deprecating humor when the team is good? I have no idea. So we had to figure that out, and that's part of been the fun of this, is figuring it out on how to talk about good football teams, and how to cover them and stuff like that. It's been an interesting challenge, and it's been fun. And I think we've done a pretty good job, and we're excited to continue to develop that.
Got a 2nd and 5. Ball on the
I know that's a really long-winded answer, but I hope I answered your question, even though I know that was a long answer.
He makes it out to maybe the 46-yard line.
Shout out to whoever would rate special teams each week for the season. That was David Braga. He does a great job with the post-mortem article at the end or on Monday after every game. He does a really good job of that. So David, if you're watching, you do an excellent job on those postmortems, and I'm very glad that you decided to take on that responsibility. Whatever it was 2 seasons ago, I think. Shit, well, that's not good. Kind of thought he'd throw it ahead of him, but yes, thank you, David, for doing a very good job with those postmortems.
Well, they're still down by a couple of scores, but the turnover certainly helps their chances. If they score on this drive, they're right back in the game.
Yikes, Brock.
1st and 10. Ball on the
Or me. I should probably start paying attention to this game, huh? I've just been kind of autopiloting through this.
And he can't get away
But we're
from the pressure.
playing good defense.
Can be aggressive. When you stand
So.
back there and take hits like that, you definitely are going to feel it the next day.
And actually, too, and now that I think about it, too, I mean, this is good. We got people watching. If anybody has suggestions for stuff, like if there's a certain interview that you'd like us to try to get, now I will just qualify that current players and coaches, fall under the purview of the university. So if you're asking for we want you to do a interview with Matt Campbell, we want to do an interview with Matt Campbell, but that may not be on the cards for us just because the university controls that, and we're not in a newspaper or Cyclone Fanatic or anything like that. We're not like professional trained journalists or anything like that. So a couple of us are, but as a site we're not, or whatever. So we don't get as much privilege we don't have the same kind of access as the newspapers and Cyclone Fanatic do, and that's fine. But that's not like that. But if you have like an old like a former player, something along those lines that you'd want to hear from, let me know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter, whatever. Comment on an article on the site, whatever it is. If you guys have an interview that you want us to cover a game, want us to do film review on something, if there is content that you guys want that we're not giving you, let us know. We are always open to suggestions, and like I said, we're fans. We can't predict everything that you guys are going to want to see. We try to do our best, but we can't. We're not magic genies or anything like that. We can't just automatically predict everything. So, if you guys got something that we didn't think of that you want to see, please let us know. Definitely.
Gains about 4 yards there.
That brings up 2nd and goal.
Looks to a receiver. Touchdown.
Personally, Venmo you to go $50 and go find Steel Jance. Okay, so Steel Jance is a funny one because I've actually tried to find him before. Now he did just reappear on Facebook recently, so maybe we try to do it. But Steel Jance is a bit of a recluse, kind of. He doesn't really talk to anybody. He doesn't really do interviews or any of that. I've been trying to get Steel. I actually sent a Facebook message to his brother Truck Jance and didn't hear anything back. So I don't know. We've been trying to reach out to him fairly consistently and haven't gotten one nibble. So we're gonna still try to get that guy on a podcast, but I would not hold your breath for it. He does not talk to anybody. I mean, I guarantee you the newspapers like Des Moines Register, Randy Peterson, I guarantee you they've reached out to try to find him, and nobody's done an interview with him. And if the newspapers and Cyclone Fanatic can't get him, I don't know. I'm somewhat doubtful that we'll be able to get him. Doesn't mean we can't, and it doesn't mean we're not going to try. But I really wouldn't hold your breath for it. Let's see here. I get there.
He's brought down. Hall gains about 5 yards on the run.
That'll make it 2nd and 4.
So it's second down now, and they need about 4 yards to pick up the first.
Depending on what that safety does on the right side there, Sean Shaw might be open here.
Rolling out to the right side.
Oh, that was a terrible throw. Sainer was open, too. Run tight end angle here. See if we can't maybe hit Charlie. Oh, man, why did he throw it upfield so far?
Quick thinking there. You know, they're liable
That was
to
dumb.
put the ball
Okay,
in the air
we're gonna go
on
for
third,
it.
So it's a smart play to keep your hands ready.
Let's do one of these. We'll do smash.
4th down, and the offense is still on the field. Well, I'm not sure I really agree
And I
with
think
this
we're
call.
gonna
Go for it,
do
but that's why I'm not coaching, folks.
Chase Allen here. Any comment on the article about Camel going to Nebraska? Yeah, that was a fun one. I think, was it Keeney that wrote? Austin Keeney. What in the hell? How are they undercutting every single route? Like, what's the point of running an out route? If, like, what in the world is the point of running an out route if the corners undercut it every single time? What is the point? I threw it outside of I threw it to the outside. I led him to the outside, and the Kansas State guy who wasn't even looking just whips around real quick and picks it off. Get out of here. It's nonsense.
He makes the PAT.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to on the new game, because as many faults as the new Maddens have, which there are many, it does a much better job of throwing out routes and corner routes and things like that. It does a much better job of leading receivers and giving you a chance on those out routes to actually get it where you need to. So that is one thing I'm looking forward to on the new game. What's this guy doing here? Here we go. Here we go, Brees. Damn you, Tariq. Why'd you have to get in the way? Need to run with Brees more. I haven't been running enough. Tariq had to get in my way. Damn shame.
First down.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Let's do one of these. Just to give ourselves an option going the other direction. Just like that.
Open field.
Chase Allen. There we go. Take an inverted veer to the house. I might have to do one of those. I'm a big fan of that inverted veer play. Is it this one? I think this is the inverted veer I really like. Ooh, but we're gonna run slot outs.
1st and 10. Ball on the 44.
Is the new game going to be a new engine for the new consoles? Just kind of rehash. Excellent question. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say it's going to be whatever Madden 23 looks like. I'm assuming that NCAA will probably look very similar to it. I would be surprised if they switched engines before then. EA is really, really heavily invested into the Ignite engine. I don't see them backing away from that. It was really expensive for them to get to that in the first place. Joe Skates. So it won't be structured like Madden. I mean, they'll still have the Dynasty mode and all that. I guarantee they'll have that. But I do like physics engine wise, I'm assuming it will be exactly this. Whatever Madden is using at the time is what this game will use. I don't see any reason to believe otherwise. Seriously, they're undercutting everything. It's insane. Okay. Because I'm tired of messing around. We're going to do one of these to mess with people. Thank you. Okay.
the 22-yard line.
Tired of them undercutting every single route. He has 69 yards receiving. We are not throwing to him again.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 22-yard line.
Run a quick pass. Probably hit Shaw here.
Quick throw out to the receiver. He's taken down at the 18.
We're going to run hurry-ups here. See if we can do some. Oh, or not.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
I'm liking Akers here. Really liking Akers. And by that, I mean I'm going to scramble.
He tries to buy some time. He's in trouble. They'll bring him down at about the 13.
Favorite away game you've ever been to? Could be any sport.
Wildcats lead it by 4.
I have not been to very many away games for Iowa State, unfortunately. Really the main one that I've been to for Iowa State is I went to the TCU game in 2018, which was ugly. It was a nightmare. The game, I mean, like the experience of going to TCU was fun, but the game itself was awful. So I'm not going to throw. God damn. So I'm not going to throw that one up there.
Looks like they're going to get the football back.
But I'm going to say I was visiting my buddy in Columbus, Ohio. And while we were there, the Blackhawks happened to be in town. So I'm a big Chicago Blackhawks fan. So we went and saw the Blackhawks, and that was a lot of fun. Saw them at Columbus. That was a good time. I enjoyed that. We're going to pull Charlie on an in route. Hopefully before the time runs out. Yes, okay. Sean Shaw. I don't know how I got that to him, but I got him. Boom. Sean Shaw. Yes. Question is, do I go for 2 here and try to pull a full touchdown ahead? Because I've got plenty of time that if I don't get it, I can come back and hit a field goal.
He beat his man off the line and then ran a perfect route. All he had to do after that was make the catch.
They rolled the dice and went for it on 4th, and I'm sure they're happy with the result.
Nah, we're just going to kick it. Take the easy one.
Trying to go up by 3, they'll kick the extra point. Iowa State is up 2. And he adds the extra point. A 10-play, 76-yard drive, and that's good for a touchdown. The score now, 20-17.
All right.
And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff.
Just don't give up a touchdown, but if you're going to do it late.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
You're an ailing Red Wings fan. Hey, the last couple years I've been an ailing Blackhawks fan, so fortunately they're good this year, or they have been so far. And Patrick Kane is a brand new man.
This is a pretty crucial series right here with things being so tight.
Yeah,
your best players have to
I get not wanting to talk hockey as a Red Wings fan. I get it.
Hit immediately. So it's complete, but they didn't get much.
Yeah,
there.
old rivalry between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks was a great one. It's a bummer that Chicago got sent out west, but is what it is.
Ball on the 27.
All right, I'm going to put him on a spy though because he's been kind of a pain. Sit down, Deuce.
Gains about a yard on the play.
I'm assuming, even if I stop him here, I'm assuming they're going to go for it. I can't prove that, but I think they're going to go for it. So I'm going to do cover 1 here.
3rd and 7.
Just to try to cover a lot of the stuff underneath. We'll set up a spy. I'll just use Vance to cover this middle, cover the short stuff here.
Now he's scrambling.
Oh, no way. Okay, got him. Awesome. 4th and 8. I'm assuming they're going to go for it.
Throw the ball away.
And that's 3 and out.
Really? They're going to punt. Well, then. All right, well, we're going to run some clock then. Should they put targeting stuff like that in the new? I mean, if it's a rule, they'll put it in. But fortunately, in NCAA anyways, and in Madden, you've had the ability to turn off targeting. And it wouldn't
despite all the
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like how they do it, because like NBA, you can actually vote on rule changes every offseason. So I don't know if they'll do something like that. Now, rule changes happen far less frequently in college football than they do in the NBA. I shouldn't say that. Depends on what kind of penalty. Targeting will be in the game. It wouldn't surprise me if they included some sort of option to change what the penalty is, so like you can get rid of the auto ejection or something like that. Wouldn't surprise me if that was in the game. But if it's a rule, it'll be in the game.
That brings up 2nd and 1.
But you've always had the ability, like in any game, you've had the ability to turn off or reduce the frequency of pretty much any penalty you can think of. They've always had that ability in there.
He makes his way to about the 45, so he keeps it. And
We're in a Kansas State, the shit out of Kansas State coming down here towards the end.
Decision here not to pitch. He saw a break in the defense and just.
That's right. I do have a pistol formation. Forgot about that. Let's run a dive.
All right, D, let's go.
He gets out to about the 42-yard line.
Gain of 3 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 7.
From the
Strong
42-yard
power.
line.
I think they'll allow you to expand the playoff. I know this weekend you could change conference alignment. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they include a lot of that kind of stuff in there, as far as expanding the playoff or changing bowl tie-ins, which you could change bowl tie-ins on NCAA 14. So that's not a new feature. But yeah, I would guess that a lot of that stuff will be in there. I don't see any reason they wouldn't put it in there. Just like that. And he's inbounds.
The 26-yard line. Kansas State will take a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half.
Just another weapon for this offense. He's got good hands, and he's tough to bring down. He showed right there that he can make something big.
We're gonna run a speed option,
From the
just for fun.
26-yard line. It's 1st down. Just under 2 minutes in the game. He makes it out to maybe the 23-yard line.
You think Alex Grinch would leave OU anytime soon for a head coaching position? Certainly possible he could. He's been, especially if OU's defense is really good this year, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets a head coaching opportunity. In addition, they should make the refs look like the ones in each conference have their voices. It would only be realistic if the Big 12 conference, if the Big 12 refs all had a Texas accent.
He might have a chance.
Brock Purdy.
He makes his way
Hopefully make 2K b-ball games so we can have classic teams and relive the old days virtually.
Makes it 1st and 10.
Yeah. Any comment on the Campbell to Nebraska article? If you're talking about the one we wrote, I mean, that was a pretty funny satire one. That was a good one. If there was a real one about that, I have no idea where that would come from, or I mean, that's not based in any.
Nice run up the middle.
If it's a real one, it's not based in any shred of fact. I mean,
Makes it 2nd and 6.
pure nonsense. In fact, I have heard, I will tell you, this is a nugget. I have heard that like
Ball on the 8.
someone asked Matt Campbell actually directly about the Nebraska job, and he literally laughed at it.
Nice run there.
Like said, haha, that's fucking hilarious. No fucking way.
Back option.
Is basically what he said. I have heard that. Like I've heard that from one of our very few sources inside the program. Like I've heard that he has literally laughed at the idea of going to Nebraska before.
And this is the 10th play of the drive.
I want to try the speed option. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Pitches back.
Oh, that is so bad. I can't believe this is happening. Brees is better. Oh my God. There's no fucking way.
What a miracle. There's no time left on the clock. Boy, they had to dig deep to score here that late in the 4th quarter and come from behind. And now the question is, can their defense dig in and win it for them? tacks on the extra point. That's the end of the ball game, and our final score in this one, 24-20, Wildcat. So, Kirk, how would you sum up the action in this one?
Well, this one really could have gone either way. Iowa State had plenty of chances to win this football game, but it wasn't meant to be today. All you can do now is try to bounce back after a close loss like this.
I can't believe that happened. Why did I run the speed option with 9 seconds left? Why? Oh my God. I can't believe that just fucking happened. I can't believe that happened. Just straight up intercepted that shit. Like didn't even hit the ground. Just whoop, just picked it right out of the air. I'm a dumbass. I'm a colossal dumbass for pitching that. Oh my God. This is what I get for talking too much and not paying attention. I just keep running normal plays no matter what the time is. Son of a bitch. All right, well, let's see where we fell. Fortunately, that was the number 12 Kansas State, not like some random terrible team. I'll be curious to see how far we fall, though. Like number 9 or something like that. Number 12. 7? That's not terrible. I mean, I don't know who's in front of us. So... those guys all have 1 loss. You have a bunch of teams right here. 4 teams there with no losses. So where did Clemson go? Where is Clemson? Holy shit, they're all the way down here. Oh, they lost at UVA last weekend. Okay, interesting. Well, unfortunately, I'm thinking this probably ends up locking us out of the title game. But, alas, we trek forward. Because technically, this is the 2020 season. So if we're going to truly simulate the 2021 season, next season is the one where we care about. Damn it. All right. Okay. So, like I said, I think Sunday. So we've played 8 games. We got 4 left in the regular season. I'm thinking Sunday, get here like 10 o'clock in the morning. I think like 10 a.m. on Sunday, give or take. Come back, run through the rest of the regular season and probably the bowl game, and get into next season. And then I'll start the 2021 season, you know, the roster equivalent to the 2021 season when I get back from my work trip in a couple weeks after that. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. So thank you for watching this horrific episode of our college football Revamped Dynasty. Hope everybody joins me on Sunday for a nice long stream.